And a very good morning to yourself. We are Wednesday, we are midweek, we are, it's hump day, isn't it? Hump day being Wednesday, and of course, if you do watch any of those popular films, certainly that specific one, the first one, we wear pink on a Wednesday. Always wear pink on a Wednesday. If you're unsure what I'm on about, check out the film Mean Girls. Not for younger viewers though. So we are Wednesday, as I say. So good morning, it is 9 AM here in the UK. You can catch me live for an hour, Monday to Friday, basically for the full hour. You've got me, and what you can do if you guys stateside, if you can't get up, or maybe you're still asleep, because I don't blame you, you can always watch it back later on. Now, you have my whole entire undivided attention. So it's me for the full hour. No guests, no one's popping in, no one's Skyping in, no one's Zooming in, no one's jumping in, no one's bouncing in. I want to know what you're up to. Let me know what you're up to. It's kind of like two things actually. I want to know what you're up to today. You know, it could be today, it could be the rest of the week, but also I want to know as well, and I'm getting serious with this one. I want to know, what do you want to see within like the 5-minute tip and idea segment that I like to do? I want to know, what is it that you want to see? Keeping in mind, you know, it needs to be done within about 5 minutes, going all the way back to basics. Something, it could be something very simple that maybe you're scared to ask, you're embarrassed to ask. Don't be scared, don't be embarrassed. We all got to start somewhere. There is no stupid questions. Ask away, and then we will get these slotted in when it comes to the wake-up call. But what I was doing yesterday, and over the last couple of days really, but mostly focused on yesterday, I was asking for your selfies. I was asking you to send a selfie of yourself in, and that's exactly what you've been doing. These are our CTV selfies. Have a look at this. We've got Sherry. Hey, look at that, the gorgeous Debbie. She's doing, oh look, oh how cute. Watching well, I don't know if it's watching or sleeping with Debbie. But you can see we've got another one now as well. Look at this, we've got Joe. Joe is, I can see the popularity going with Debbie, and I don't blame you whatsoever. Doesn't she look gorgeous just now, isn't she? Well, she always does, but you can see how lovely she is there. And then we've got another one, Maxine. I recognise all your names now. Look at you, crafting away while watching. That's what we love to see. We love to see you either crafting away or just watching. We want to know. So what I want you to do is, it's not too late, I want you to get your emails in. I want you to email, it's coming up on your screen just in a moment. It is going to be, ta-da, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Send your selfies in. It could be myself or you watching me, or crafting along while you're watching me. It could be, you could be wearing a pink jumper, a pink t-shirt, or just wearing pink so that you are, as we say, wearing pink on a Wednesday. But yeah, get your selfies in and let us see, and you never know, you might just be popping up on Crafters TV. Something even more exciting is we have got a launch today later on with Joe and Leanne. I'll tell you about that just shortly, but this is our Knitwit. So this is Knitwit collection, Bloom with Grace. You guys stateside adored this one. I'll tell you a wee bit more about the company Knitwit later on as well. We've got this selection. We've got 3 paper pads. We've got core colour paper pad, pattern paper pad that's double-sided, and a paper pad that is full of die cuts. However, that's not it. You've also got a stamp and die with all of your florals, so you can stamp and die cut and stamp, but we're even giving you sentiments as well as stamps, so you can stamp till your heart's content. And then, possibly my favourites, and you'll be not surprised to know it's my favourite, we've got a decoupage pad, and guess what? It's die cut. So you don't have to do any of the cutting or the die cutting. It's all done there for you. So we're going to be having a look at that as well just later on. But then what we've got is, what I will just tell you, just in case you're wanting to know though, the Knitwit, that's coming up on launch day later on today, 1 PM here in the UK, 8 AM Eastern Time, 5 AM Pacific Time. But what we're then going to do is coming up to Creative Cravens with myself and Joe on Creative Cravens. It's all about Sarah's signature Rose Garden. This is the complete collection when it comes to this full one here. So we have got an incredible full-on bundle. What I will say though is, with this full bundle, I don't know if it's going to all still be there for Creative Cravens later on today, because you have been buying it already. Yesterday, even before I came on live, you'd already sold out out some products, so you never know, this may happen, but it's very, very limited, but it's also very, very popular. A relatively recently new collection from Sarah's Signature. It's our Rose Garden. And how much is that we're getting off there, Laura? Saving an extra £30 or $40 if you're going to be buying that full collection. So as you can see, I just referred to there, we've got Lauren, we've got Adam in the gallery today, both saying hi to you, and then that's coming up on Creative Cravens. But then what we've also got, and this is something that we're going to be kind of showcasing to start with, this is all about our dimensional box. This is our Honeycomb Favour box. This is a full collection. This is going to be coming up on Craft Vault very, very shortly. Craft Vault with Sarah. And there's only the one Craft Vault because there's an HSN Facebook Live later on today that I will tell you, that nod to the head, that means later on today. We'll tell you about that later on as well. But with this one here, this is our Favour box. But you've got a nice little bundle with this one to get you started. You've got the Favour box. We're even giving you some of our Pacific Centura Peril card. That's our 310 GSM card. You've got your fancy fonts that you already know. There's one of my favourites. We've got Smile and we've got Celebrate, but we're even giving you one of our glue pens. So we're giving you our tape runner within these ones. Full one, it's our 22 metre ones when it comes to our tape. So that's on at 11 a.m. here in the UK, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, or 3 a.m. Pacific Time. So that is just the one Craft Vault today, because Sarah is going to be on later on when the time when we should have a second Craft Vault. Sarah's going to be on HSN, but as I say, we'll tell you that towards the end of the show. Right, let's have a look, see what everyone is saying. Let's get these comments going. We've got Betty Gray on YouTube saying, good morning, Craig, and she's from Wisconsin, and she's in the house. Woohoo! Katie on YouTube, good morning. I'm bleary-eyed, not bushy-tailed, at 1 a.m. Southern California. You know what you need to do? You need to do what I do. Well, I've grabbed a cup of tea. You need to grab yourself a coffee. Grab yourself a cup of coffee and keep watching. Maybe do a bit of crafting. I don't know, but is it just me, or I could craft 24 hours a day. My creative flow seems to work better at kind of like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning. You know, perfect for when I'm watching, the WWE pay-per-view events, because then I can be watching and crafting. Guys can do more than two things. So what we can then do is let us know, is your creativeness, does that flow a lot better towards the middle of the night? Right, need to give, right, so I need to give a word to Kate. Kate, you've tried to send in your selfie, but you've not attached the image. Come on. You need to do it again. Send it again, but what you need to do is attach your image this time. Same address, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, and attach that image, and then we will get that, on. If you get that done soon, then fingers crossed we'll get that done by the end of the show. Don't know if that's possible, but I've kind of said that now, so we'll wait and see. Yeah, well, get that in. A couple more before we do a bit of demoing. We've got Rita on Facebook saying good morning and all to the team. Good morning to you. Sally Bond on Facebook is saying hi from Bronton, North Devon. Good morning to you too. Right here, I could keep reading, but we'll go back and do let us know. So as I say, let me know what you're going to be up to, say the rest of today, even maybe the rest of the week, but also let me know what kind of like 5-minute tips that you want to see over the coming shows, over the coming weeks, and we will get them sorted. What we're going to do now is we're going to focus on these favour boxes. So favour boxes, it's our Honeycomb ones. And if you've seen my both Instagram and Facebook yesterday, give you a wee bit of a tease as to what we're going to be making on this show. So first and foremost, this is your Honeycomb Favour box. Not only is it just a box, you've got all your decorative panels, but you've even got all your decorative dies as well. So you've got your florals, you've got your tabs, you've got your sentiments, you've got your leaves, you've got all these little accessories that you could build upon as well. But what we're also giving you within this bundle today is we're giving you some of our Centura Peril. Now this is our Pacific colour. You can see here, A4 in size, 310 GSM, and it's 10 sheets. It's an absolute gorgeous colour. As we always say with Centura Peril, you can still be, embossing it and die cutting it with no problem at all. Then what we're giving you, this is my set, that's opened up. This is our fancy font. So this is our Celebrate as well as our Smile. Now you may have seen these being used a couple of times, certainly from myself. We've got the word when it comes to the die, but we've got the stamps that also work in conjunction. So what you can then do is, for instance, Smile. So you could have stamp out I love your, and then you've got smile, and then you've got all these additional little stamp sentiments that work in conjunction with the die. So that is a smile. And then we've also got let's celebrate. So you can then have it's time to, and then celebrate, or you could have celebrate together. So you've got all these different combinations as well. Last but not least, we're even giving you one of our very, very famous tape runners. So this is our glue tape runner on this one here, double-sided as you know, 22 meters in length. And just to say, the out there in the market, one of the best adhesive brands, their best tape runner is 12 meters in length. So that's how you know that ours is incredible. So what we're going to do to start with is actually, I'm putting that away, but I need that die because it is mine. So let's bring that back. What I'm going to do with this one, now I have skipped this initial step because all that we would do is do die cutting for the actual box. Now, taking this die, what you will need is you will need your large Gemini or a large die cutting machine to create the box. Now, this is where it looks like this once we've die cut. So this is how it looks. What you need to do is do this twice, and then that means what you're going to be ending up with is exactly the same, and all I've done beforehand is I've just folded in all of these scored lines. So all these scored lines come embossed for you, and you just need to score them. Now, I've just used our white smooth stamping card for this one because, in all honestly, I didn't realise that you got the Centura Pearl with it. I just thought it was the sentiments and the tape, so that is a bit of a Billy bonus. So this is why I have used my white smooth stamping card. So what I'm doing now is I've taken these two panels that I've already cut. Now on the little tabs at each side, I've put some tape already on. Now you can be using your tape runner, but because I was prepping this yesterday, I just popped some tape on. Or alternatively, what you can do is use your white glue, so your white tacky glue. So if I pop that on into place, and then I'm going to take these next bits. So take these tabs there and then there. And then we're going to fold this one over, fold that one over in place. So you're going to be left with, it's kind of like a little bucket. You know, and you could, if you want to have a little play with how it's going to look, then you could potentially use that in different ways. That's up to yourself. But what we're going to do now is, let's bring in my tape runner for this one. We've got all these little tabs along the bottom here. Now these aren't going to be seen, so I'm not worried about decorating these ones. But what I can do is on two of these tabs, so on one here, and then also on this one here, I'm going to pop my adhesive on, and then this is going to initially start the flow of the box. So if I bend them back so you can see. So I'm just pulling it in, so we're actually left with a hexagon shape. And then if I pop these ones in there and then there, and then if so I need to pop it that way and press, and then we're going to do exactly the same here. Now I'm not pressing overly hard at the moment because I might need to adjust the shape slightly to work in with the base. So when you fold over that base there, what we're then going to do, that actually works out quite well, is popping the tape on. So let's do our tape onto this panel here. And then I'm also going to put tape onto this panel here. Now you could, at home, decorate all these edges before you assemble it, but on purpose I want to assemble it first and then I will come along and decorate the panels. So I'm going to pop my two bottom tabs over the top. I'm going to press just for a moment, and then what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to add a little bit more pressure on the inside. So all that I need to do is just have a play. Take your time with this bit. All that you're wanting to do is make sure that these bottom tabs that I'm putting on now all line up. So we're going to pop that one in here, and you'll see the outline of the base of the box works and flows in with the actual tabs that I'm doing here. So if I pop that one on and that one on, and I'm going to lightly, just for a second, on, and then I'm going to turn it around, and then what I'm going to do place, and then this together, and also it's going to strengthen it as well. So we are starting to be left with, again, another bit of a bucket shape, but our base is nicely formed that we can see here. Then what we're going to do is we're then absolutely, Adam, it is all about the base. That's what we always say. Well, I know that's what Megan Trainor says, but that's what we like to say as well at Crafter's Companion. When we're assembling our boxes, it's all about the base. What I've then done is all of these little components here. So these are all scored lines as well, but they score inside. So we're just carefully manipulating them so that they fall inside. And then these two tabs here, what we're going to do is we're going to pull them together, and I'm going to hold them together. And then what happens is we're going to pull these bits in. Once again, we're just taking our time. We're not going overly fast. We want to slowly just manipulate all these panels in, and then once we're happy, we can then pull them over. A lot of night owls watching stateside tonight anyway, you guys, or early hours of the morning. So lots of you watching. So many are actually watching lately. I've been watching throughout the early hours of the morning and or getting up early to watch. So it's good. It's nice to have your company. It's a pleasure having your company, and it's even nicer to know that you're staying up or you get up to watch. So thank you. So what we can do now is let's just pop this one over, and then we can fold that one here. That, they're saying in my ear, obviously, what names could, so it could be Up Late with Craig or Nighttime with Craig or something like that. What's Insomnia with Craig? That's a good one, isn't it? Insomnia with Craig. Trying to think as well, what else have we got? What is that British comedian that's now got a talk show? That's it, James Corden. What's his? The Late Late Show. Is it the mine will just be the Early Show, depending obviously where in the world you are. Depending where you are in the world, it could be a different name. Now all that I'm just doing here is I'm just manipulating them into place. So let's just strip right back. So let's go into this one here. Now you would come along and you would manipulate all these score lines a bit better than I am and a bit quicker. You're not going to be under a little amount of time. And then what we're going to do is we can pop these back into place. So we're working them round. So we're bringing in each tab. Each tab I'm holding and I'm pulling over. Where's my top part? Here we go. Bringing in this top bit, going over the top here, and then bringing these ones in. So if I bring these, so each time what we're doing is we're just pulling, getting there, slowly but surely. We're getting there. We're going to pop that one in over the top. So just make sure you've got both little top pads here. So I'm just manipulating. So we've got a little handle. That one can then go over the top as well. And then as we pull these ones out, what happens is these little, the little tab at the top that I'm holding on to is got kind of two little indent bits. So what happens is your little indent bits actually sit in top. So this is what folds the box together that we can see here. Now then, what I've already done is let's just quickly run through a couple of these. We've got all these decorative panels here that you could decorate. You've got 3 different designs that you can use. But let's take this straight edge, and I've brought in some cardstock that I've got here. Now, if you want to use this one on its own, that's going to cut into the box. But what we can do is use the die to come with it. And what that does is that enables it to actually die cut out. So let's run this one through. Just to say as well, little bit of a tease that if you are looking for a MIDI or wanting to treat yourself, there may be a little special deal on the website when it comes to the MIDI. So check that one out. You'll see that one on our website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Now, if I remove these ones, we've got these decorative panels that you can see here. Then we've got this other one too. So if I bring in what I've already done beforehand, so what I've done before is pop that onto a bit of our silver mirror card, and then I cut around it. Or what you could do is just use this outside die on its own, cut it in silver, and then that is then going to be your perfect matting layer to go over the back there. So what I can do now is let's move this out the way, and then let's finish, or at least let's assemble part of this. And then if you've seen my Insta story and Facebook yesterday, you've seen how it's going to turn out. So let's take these ones into place. Now it's bringing in our box. Now I'm going to use my tape runner for this one. I have done some red ones, so I've done 2 reds, and then I've done some pinks as well, but I've done that in kind of like the crisscross. So what we can do is let's move them up, and then I'm going to pop some adhesive on. I'm going to do a little bit at the moment, and then what we can do later is I can come back and add some more. This bit, the curvature at the top, what I would just start to do is manipulate it slightly with my fingers to add a little bit of curvature. And then what we can do is turning this one around, we can then kind of offset it if we want. So, let's take that one there and then there. So we'll do one more with the red, and then I would just alternate it. I think with the one that I've already done that will show you, I think I done 2 reds, a pink, 2 reds and a pink. So that's why my numbers are not even. Let's do this one. Now, if you can then take any of your cardstock you've got at home, it could be, if you want to do this in glitter card, it would look spectacular. In actual fact, I've got a sample here when it comes to some of our mirror card that you could use that looks awesome. Maybe you're going to make little boxes of that over the weekend to send out to people. That would be good. Let us know as well. Or if you've made them, send your photos in. And then what I've also done is using all these little components that also come with on that die set. I've made this little flower. We've got the tags, we've got all these little embellishments here as well. We've got all these. Now these, you could be using these in conjunction with your other goodies at home. It doesn't just have to be with the boxes. And then let's bring in true style, the one that I've already done. In Blue Peter style, as you guys here in the UK will understand what that means. This is then how it's looked. The only difference what I didn't do with this one is popped any with our silver mirror card. I've just popped it straight on. But that's how you can look, and then the lid just opens up each time. So that could be little boxes, as a little trinket, little thank you boxes, maybe little favour boxes when we can have bigger weddings, colour theme it whichever way that you want, little treat boxes. There's so many different things. So that is coming up just very shortly on Craft Vault. So that's going to be 11 AM here in the UK, 6 AM Eastern Time, or 3 AM Pacific Time. And that's going to be with Joe and Sarah. So make sure you tune in there. I think this is Sarah's first Craft Vault, I think. Believe it is, absolutely. So that's going to be, I'm going to be watching that, that's for sure. Now, a question that I get asked quite a lot, and it's what we're away to cover over the next 5 minutes, is about the mats and layers. So many you say, Craig, how do you do your mats and layers? You seem to get them so perfect, they always seem to match. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how I do it anyway. And I know some of you already know, but you still ask to see it again. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's move my bits out the way. I've got some cardstock. I've got some black and I've got some white, and when I like to show concepts or ideas, I like to do it in black and white because it shows it off better. I'm going to use a small guillotine for this one, but you can absolutely do what I'm going to do, but on the bigger scale with the large Gemini. So if I take a piece of black cardstock, now I do 9 times out of 10, my mats and layers are always at a 1/4 of an inch increment, or maybe like 1/2 an inch or 3/4. So let's explain that. So on this one here, what I'm going to do is I've got my black card, and let's pop it to the 6-inch mark. So there is a 6-inch mark here, and because we've got this flat beveled edge all the way along the top, my cardstock sits nice and tightly and hugs into the top. Up at the 6-inch, so we're going to cut, and I'm going to turn that around again, and I'm going to pop that to the 6-inch again and cut. Now this I know is a perfect 6x6 mat and layer. Now if I want to then obviously have a layer on the inside, what I would then do is I would come down a 1/4 of an inch. So therefore that's going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So let's bring this one in. So I've got white now. So I'm coming down a 1/4 of an inch. So this is where you're going to see just in a moment that it's going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So we can cut, and then we can come in, work my way around, cut again. So if I bring this one in, we can now see that we've got that perfect 1/4 of an inch mat and layer all the way around. But then what you can do as well, you don't have to do your 1/4 of an inch increments. Maybe let's do another one. So this one, let's do 4 3/4 for this one. So we'll do 4 3/4, and then what we can then do is turn that one around, do 4 3/4. Now this time, instead of doing it at 1/4 of an inch, let's do 1/2 an inch. So therefore, this time, it would need to be 4 1/4 there, and then 4 1/4 there. So if I bring this in, I've now got my perfect 1/2 an inch matting layer all the way around. So if we then start to build upon them. Now I've just shown you squares here, but of course there could be rectangles if you want to, depending on obviously the size or the card that you're making. So we can bring that in this way so you'll be able to see how effective that works. And what I'll show you as well is, in case if I like to do that really, really thin matting layer line, so what I do is I do it as planned with a 1/4 of an inch increment, like I've done here. Then what I would do, if I want a real thin black matting layer, I then come back and I just trim a couple of millimeters at a time. And I just do a little at a time until I've got the desired matting layer that I want. So we could then do it even a little bit more, taking just a tiny, tiny little slither off. So let's do that one, and then let's do that one. And now this will show you how you can then do your tiny, tiny matting layers all the way around, so you can see there. So that is how I do all my mats and layers. I do them with the guillotine. I follow the 1/4 of an inch increments, and each time what I'll do, if I want them bigger or smaller, I just move up, you know, whether I'm going to 1/2 an inch, 3/4 of an inch, but it's always the inches that I go by when it comes to the mats and layers. So hopefully that's helped everyone out that always ask, and those that have asked in the past and can't remember, that's how that I do it. So just my personal way, and it's the way that I like to do it, and I find it easier. So if there is anything that you want to know, something along those lines, any other helps or tips, there's a social strap. Just head across there and let us know, and we'll keep a tally of them all, and we'll then get them all planned into the future shows. Right here, so we've then got, let's go back just that wee bit and see what everyone else is saying. We've got, right here, Barbara on Facebook, morning Craig, what's the difference between white stamping card and Nina card? What to do is, we've referenced that a few times here. What to do is, if you go onto our YouTube and have a look at our Colour Me Happies with Leanne, and there's some with Sarah, they then explains, there's shows that's dedicated to explaining and showing you which card is which one is best. So cross and do that one. Fran on YouTube is saying morning to you too. We've got Nikki on YouTube is saying, Craig, my creativity comes out at night as well. Yeah, mine's as well. Nandia on Facebook is saying, good morning, happy International Polar Bear Day. Random fact of the day. Well, happy National Polar Bear Day to you all as well. Lovely, cute little creatures, especially the babies. Really lovely. Then we've got, Katie's then says, put on YouTube. Okay, Telfie with the bleary eyed. I've attached it this time. Perfect. We've got it. We've got it. Right. So what we are then going to do now is we are, something exciting that you can tell I've been excited for the last couple of weeks, is Knitwit. We are going to be showing you the Knitwit. What I'm going to be doing is we'll do a bit of a demonstration as well today. But this is launching later on with none other than Leanne. Leanne's going to be launching this with Joe. That's going to be on launch day later on, 1 p.m. here in the UK, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, very quickly, Knitwit are a Canadian company. So many you already know their images and designs from the digital side. They've been so popular and so famous for their digital images over the last number of years, quite a few years. You guys stateside as well as Canada absolutely adore them. Even here in the UK, we adore them as well. But now they've got their collection in conjunction with us at Crafters Companion in physical paper craft forum. So this is what you're going to get if you're going to go for the bundle that's coming up on launch day. 12 by 12 paper pads. You're getting all of these colours. You're getting multiple different sheets as well. So as I say, 12 by 12. They are matte, and you can then stamp and colour them onto them as well. But you're getting a big book of them. Let me just check my 36 of these ones. then you're getting another 36 of these 12 by 12 double-sided pattern papers. You could then be cutting them down each, and they're going to give you 4 6x6 card mats and layers, or you can be using them as your scrapbooks. You can see here we've got full-on designs, we've got pattern designs, we've got frame designs, we've got simple borders, we've got our florals, but look at the ivories as well as the ruby reds and the checkers and ginghams, and just absolutely stunning when it comes to this full paper pad collection. But then that's not the only 12 by 12 paper pad. We've got another one that is jam-packed full of die-cut toppers. Now, within these ones here, you are getting all of these die-cut toppers. You're getting 29 sheets of these ones, and these all range from your butterflies as well as your sentiments. We've got swans, we've got frames, we've got borders, we've got tags, we've got tabs, we've got all of these little buttons. We've got these little mats and layers that you could use if you want to. You could stamp onto as well. But then what you've also got, not only have you got these ribbon borders, we've even got all of these alphabets as well. Even if I go back one, look, I actually made a card just using that and a bit of pink Centura Pearl, and it's just so effective. But you've got your alphabets, all of these colour match, colour themed throughout, uppercase, lowercase. We've got the buttons, all the numbers as well. But that's not it. We're even giving you your sentiment stamps as well, a good variety of different sentiments that you can see within that one. But then what we're doing is we're even giving you your stamp and dies too. So if you want to create your own decoupage, if you want to create your own toppers, you can do as well. There we go, right way, including a few sentiments, and then possibly my favourite, it's no surprise, we've got our decoupage. Now these are 6x6 pads, and these ones are all die cut, and you just need to pop them out and then just layer them up with either your glue gel or foam pads. That's entirely up to yourself, but you don't have to do any fussy cutting, you don't have to do any die cutting, it is all done for you. And then what I'm going to do, I've got a little card just lined up at the side of me, but what I'm going to do, just to really tempt you that a little bit more, here's a few ideas as to what you can create. So if you want to use the papers, the sentiment stamps, as well as the floral stamps as well, you can. These are so quick and easy cards to make. You can go all out, you can make them all decorative and detailed if you want, or you can just keep them very simple. Really simple to pop a word or a name on as well. And even when it comes to the pattern papers, it's all matte, so you can add any extra colour. But then look at this one here, using the frames, doing your heat embossing, building up your flurry of flowers and foliage, you can see here. So many different ways. I believe Cynthia, she's just received her Knitwit collection, and she says it's even prettier in person. Cannot wait until you start to share everything that you've been making. So Cynthia, if you've started already, or when you start creating, make sure you send your pictures in, even if it's going to be later on launch day with Leanne and Joe. That would be good to see, because I'll be watching, so it'll be good to see what you're actually creating. So what we're going to do is I've brought in some mats and layers that I've already pre-cut and layered. I've brought in a card blank. This one is 6x6 card blank. And what I've done is down the centre, I folded that one back. So we're going to create a fold back card. Brought in a bit of the pattern paper, love this ruby red, and I've used a little bit of my own black matte cardstock, and I'm going to mat and layer this into the centre of my card blank. So we can pop this one into here. Now this might be something if you purchased this from HSN and you've received it, or you're just away to receive it, maybe this is something that you're going to be creating and playing with maybe today or over the next couple of days. So always send your pictures in, let us know what you're going to be doing, and again, if you do have pictures, do get your pictures in, including your telface. Make sure you send your telface. You know, it could be obviously this morning, you sitting and watching myself on Wake Up Call, it could be later on with Sarah and Joe, or it could be with Leanne and Joe, or it could be later on with myself and Joe and Creative Cravens. Let us know. There's the details along the bottom there. You've got your studio at crafterscompanion.co.uk. honeycomb.co.uk. So send them in and we'll be able to see them. We'd love to have a see. We'd love to see what you get up to. And you're right, Laura. We're nosy. That's what it is. We're nosy. We'd like to see the craft stash in the back as well if you can. Not essential, but it's good to see. So what we can do now is let's finish off this one here. So although I've done the mats and layers already, what I've done is if I bring this one here, so this is the topper sheet that it comes with. Now you can see all of these do just pop out. So you don't need a die cut, you don't need to do any fussy cutting. If you want to add any additional cuts into here, you can go in, you can trim in, you can add, or you can't add, but you can take away little bits. So what you can do is just really finely tune. What I would also say is very, very, very minimum, but you do get tiny little pips on the edges, just where your cardstock's been held in place. If you've got the time and patience like I do, I just trim them away, or if you've got a nail file, you can just slightly sand it back to get those pips. But then what we can then do is building up all these other ones. So here's mine that I've already popped out. So you can use these. They are to layer on top of each other, but nothing's stopping you from creating your own kind of design and layout if you want to. You can be really having fun and playing with them if you want to get creative. We're going to use it the way that it is. So what I'm doing is I've brought in, this is one of our nested hexagon layering dies, and I'm going to pop this into the middle. Laura's telling me that you guys are absolutely loving this collection. So whether it is some of you that have already received it, some of you that are already just looking forward to it launching today on Crafters TV, but you are absolutely loving it, and I'm not surprised. I knew you would do. I said since day one, since I was allowed to say that we were bringing it, you would love it, and it's exactly as I do. But what we're doing is we're layering them up. That sentiment is from the stamp set as well, stamped straight on with my quick dry black. We've got our layer here. So what we can do is let's bring in a couple of pads, and I'm going to pop one into the middle. Now what I'm doing here is I'm only popping one in the middle, and I'm going to slightly shape it with my fingers, because you can do that even though you're using foam pads. And then we can bring this one in and we can layer it at a bit of a angle. Let's bring in our next one, and then once again I'm going to shape it slightly, but what I'm going to do is these are our longer foam pads that come within our foam pad bundles. So I've chopped it in half, and then we're layering that one over the top. As easy as that. Let's bring in our next one. Let's pop a pad on the back here and layer that one up. So you're just following each layer. Just to say as well, it's the little pads, the sheets, they do have numbers on each one. So layer 1, 2, 3 and 4 for you to follow if needed. But then we can take our last one, and then we can pop our pad on the back here, layer this one up. So let's just find the way that it goes here. And then I brought in a bow. We can bring this bow in with our adhesive. Let's pop that one into place, and that's all that I'm going to do with that one. It's a nice little 6x6 card that you can see here. But if you don't want to just use the toppers for this one, remember you've got all those die cut images within that 12x12 paper pad. You're going to have so much fun. Go all different creativeness, and then you can then even use your sparkle pens or any of those kind of Spectrum Noir collections that you've got at home. You could be using them. But that one there, the Knitwit collection, is launching today on Launch Party. So what we are then going to move on to just in a moment is we're going to go on to see a few more Telfies, see what you've been sending in. So I know we've got a few just coming up very, very shortly as well. So I can't wait to see these ones. So we've got lovely Liz. Oh, look, she's wearing pink. You're going to see it. See, I'm seeing it before you are. Here we go. There we are. We wear pink and we craft on a Wednesday. We absolutely do. I love the way you've done your iPad, Liz. That is so cool. Just having it, yeah, hanging on the shelf under your Spectrum Noir pens. That's a good idea. That's a good tip. I think I'll need to do that. Thank you for that, Liz. Brilliant. Love, love, love it. And then, hey, this is Kate. Kate managed to attach her email. Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Kate. Doing your selfie while watching me. Love seeing that. Thank you so much. And then thank you, Sandra. Look, I look like someone out of Ghostbusters in that one, don't I? I love that one. Thank you so much, Sandra. I really do appreciate you all sending them in. Keep your pictures in. Do you know what? Even, I know some people don't always like doing selfies of themselves, but let us see what you're making, what you're up to, see what's in front of you on your craft desk. It doesn't have to be a selfie, but it would be good to see. It's quite fun to see what you are all up to. So what we can do is let's have a look beforehand and see what everyone is saying. Judy Kyles on YouTube is saying, love how that box turned out. I have to see if I already have this die or not. So many are like that. You've got to tidy your craft stash and then you realise that you've already got something that you've already bought. Always happening. It's quite funny when I see that. Remember, the comments that you're reading, get onto our social. You see that strap along the bottom and get interactive with us. And you never know, might be reading your comments out. Cynthia on Facebook saying, hello everyone. That was Cynthia, it just said, wasn't it? Received a knitwear collection. She's so excited. Sally Bond on Facebook is saying, Sally's saying a word that I don't like, and Joe says it to wind me up. Sally Bond on Facebook is saying the colour I can't say it. I can't, no, not palette, no. Don't mind that word, palette. It's lush. Oh, what's wrong with lush like? It gives me shivers. No offence to anyone in that kind of area. Stop it, Laura. Okay, right, it's not funny now. We've got Nikki D on YouTube. That's it. I've now opened a floodgate, haven't I? Joe started, whenever he says it, he does it to, yes, I know you say it quite a lot, Laura. I know, I've noticed. We've got Nikki on YouTube saying, Craig, that collection is lovely. It really, really is. We've got Cynthia saying, I'll be sure to post pictures of what I make. No pressure now. There is no pressure. Do you know what? Just let us have fun. That is what it's all about. Have fun, be creative, and then let us see. So keep your comments coming. Let us know, is there anything specific you want to see within like the 5-minute tips and ideas, or sending your selfies, or you're just saying hi, good morning, what you're up to. Let us know. It would be good to see. Rita saying that was such a pretty collection. It really, really is. And just to say as well, because I had so many people saying, but Craig, didn't you show sneak peeks of another knitwear collection? I did. Don't fear. That's all that I'm going to say. Don't fear. But we are launching Blooming Grace today. You need to keep watching. Right. From one collection onto another collection, which actually would work so well together with the colour palette. Absolutely gorgeous, including if you're going to use any of the flower forming elements from what we're away to show you. It is all about Sarah's signature Rose Garden collection. This is coming up later on today on Creative Cravens. So this is a Rose Garden complete collection. I say complete collection. We've got to say, breaking news about this bundle. Yep. Rightio. So if you are wanting to get that 12 by 12 paper pad, if maybe you've already got the collection and you're wanting to stock up, well, actually, I've kind of leading you down a garden path there, because I was about to say it's sold out. Paper pad on its own is sold out, the 12 by 12. The only way that you can get it is to go within that big bundle. All together, 59 elements. So within the big bundle there, you've got a nice array of different crafty goodies within there. We've got our die cutting, we've got our embossing, but we've got layering stamps as well. We're even giving you kind of like chipboard kind of shapes that you can use that you could still ink onto. But what we're giving you as well, we're giving you vellum. Of course, you're getting our famous papers and our paper pads, but we're giving you flower forming foam in the colourways to match this full collection. We're giving you a wax seal set as well, so you can add that little bit more luxuriousness to your envelopes, to your envelope boxes, to your boxes, or maybe just the front of your cards, like I'm away to do just shortly. But then when it comes to the flower forming, we're giving you the stamens as well. It really, really is a full-on collection when it comes to the Rose Garden. And as you'll see straight away, you'll totally agree with me, that's going to work beautifully when it comes to knitwear collection. So what we can do, I tell you what, I've got these awesome boards. I don't know who made them, but they're so cool in the fact of being able to show you. So let's, we'll quickly go through these ones so you get the idea. We've got our stamens here. I want you to keep an eye on the colour tones that run throughout. Colour coordinated, but you can still add additional colour if you want to change the colour with your inks. Here is our wax seal that you've got here. We've got our wood frames that you can see here. Now these you can heat emboss, you can colour onto, you can ink onto, stain them if you want. Then we've got our sentiments. Now actually even then, I do think they would work really well with the knitwit, wouldn't they? They really, really would work well with the knitwit. So you can mix and match, of course. This is our layering rows. So this is all about your elements where you could layer up the rows with your different tones of colour. We've got border dies that we can see here. We've got this die here that I'm actually going to be using just shortly. So with that one being your Adoring Lace. We've got a full panel die, this one being the Rambling Rose, but then we've got embossing folders that you can see here. So that is what I would say is a standard traditional folder from us. We've got our 3D embossing folder, so this is where you've got all that depth. We're then even giving you, see, there's loads and loads. We're giving you the traditional rows. This is for your flower forming, but you can still cut your card and paper with these dies. We've got a little sentiment saying thinking of you. You've got your foliage so that you could pop that behind your flower forming flowers. We've got your fancy die. So this is actually 3 dies because you can cut in or out. 2 of your outside edges are separate. We've got the edgeable as well. But then what we've also got is our A4 cardstocks. Look at that colour palette. Texture as well as pearlescent. This is the colours of your flower forming foam that you can be using. And then what we're going to do is, this is the 6x6 vellum. Now you get the same design if you manage to get the 12x12 one, if you know, in that bundle. So it is all available individually apart from the 12x12 paper pad. But you can see here, so this is a 6x6, but the same pattern runs throughout when it comes to the 12x12. Exactly the same for the 6x6 paper pad. The designs run exactly the same for the 12x12, but just on a larger scope. Right, so as you can see, that is a full-on bundle of Sarah Davies goodness. So then what I'm going to do is, let's bring my elements that I've got all here. It's good to see so many comments still popping through, so we'll have a look again towards the end. But what I want to do is, I want to get a bit creative here, and let's do a bit of die cutting and assembling. I've got a piece of our white smooth stamping card. Now this layer here that I've got, which is 7 inches by 5 inches. So that's going to be kind of like the back layer of my card. And I've taken another piece of cardstock, which is 4.5 inches by 5 inches. And what I've done is I've scored in at 1 inch, and I've done that twice. So I've got that twice here. Then what I can do is, if I bring in our Adorning Lace, and with this one, all that I'm going to use is this centre die here. You do get corners as well, but it's just this one that I'm going to use. And with this one, what you've got, if you've got your outside cutting edge, but in here, that stays in place. In other words, there's no cutting edge, so your card will stay in place. So what I'm going to do now is I've popped my die into place, and the reason I cut my cardstock to that specific height is because it works with the die. And I'm going to layer this one up, and I'm going to tape that into place. And what I'm doing is I'm going to pop my tape at this side here, because this is actually going to be waste, so it doesn't matter if the card was to tear slightly. And I'm going to use my MIDI for this one. You can, of course, use your Junior. You can, of course, use your large Gemini, or depending on some of the elements, the sizes that you're doing, these will go through your Go as well as your Mini. But we can then take this one out, and then what we can do is, if I then carefully peel this one off, so we've got all these bits that have come out now. So if we can see here, let's bring in a bit of black card so it can really show off how substantial the detail is. How elegant does that look? It's very regal and royal, and you know, like your palace frames, that sort of ironwork that you can get. So you can see that's a nice design here. And then what I have already done, so if I bring in one that I've already done, and this is using the 6x6 paper pad, what I've done is I've taken a piece of the paper and I simply drew around the edge of that die. So drew around it, and then what I done was I just trimmed away with my scissors, and I've just made it so that it is, in total, it is 1 3/4 from edge to edge. So that gives us our fold that we can see here. And then I've done exactly the same on another one. So it's just repeating, so I've now got 2 of them. So these are going to be edge to edge when it comes to my cards. So let's pop that to the side. Then what I'm going to do is let's bring in a piece of that pearlescent card that comes within the big bundle. And we're going to go for the rose trellis. This is our 3D embossing folder. So with this one, you can be using it with the MIDI and you don't need any additional plates or folder combination. All that we're going to do is we're going to pop our cardstock into place. I've pre-cut this to 5x7. So then what I can do is I'm going to run that one through my MIDI. And we're just going to run through, and then when this one comes out, you're going to see unbelievable depth that you've got to that rose, from the background to the foliage, the leaves, the actual rose head, all these tiny little dots that you've got within that image really, really works well. So what we can do is I'm bringing, so you can see, because I've got all these bits pre-prepped to the right sizes so that we can show you how it's going to come together. So no different, the only difference is I've slightly trimmed that to it exactly. So this one is 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And that was simply just to trim away any of the excess cardstock. So that's our layer. We've got our white card. So let's bring these ones into place now. And we can then bring these ones. And we've got, oh Sally, don't apologise. It's nice that you've said that, because most people, Sally, you can't keep using that word. Don't worry, you've not upset me whatsoever. And yes, apparently you are lush. On that note, we are going to fold that one over into place. Thank goodness I've only got creative cravings today. Do you know that? Imagine if I had a full show with these guys in my ear saying that word. I don't know what it is. There's just some. Don't. Yeah, there's something about certain words that we just all don't like, isn't there? Some very random ones, like mine in my case. Folding, or not liking that word's very random. Yeah, you think it's random. Yeah, it is a bit, I suppose. Taking an adhesive on. No, I don't think a lot of people like that word. No, but it's not a bad word, but it's. Okay, yeah, okay, I will say it because you want to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they're saying in my ear that they don't like the word moist, which I know a lot of people don't like that word. Not a bad word, but yeah, it's. Someone got that as a surname. Poor sausage. Poor sausage. Could be worse. Could be lush. Layering these ones up. I don't know what would be worse, yeah. What one would be worse? Both probably. Layering these ones into place here. What I'm doing is you can put mats in layers. I'm not on this one. I know, go figure. I'm not actually putting any mats in layers, but we're popping that one in. So we can see how it's starting to come together. If you just need to burnish it that little bit more, bringing in your score tool, just to burnish these edges, just to keep them flat slightly. You can see how that looks. Then same cardstock as well as a bit of black. What I've done is I've taken our sentiment. So this one is the thinking of you. And what I'm doing is I've got these die cut, but I'll do it once so that you can see into this really rich pink. And we're going to run that one through into my folder. If you do have the MIDI and you've also got your Gemini mini folders, remember the mini folders will still work through your MIDI as well. All these M's, but that little folder will still work through as well. If we take this one out here and we're going to give it a tap, you can use your die release tool if you've got that one at home. I'm going to bring in my pokey tool, which is here. Popping these bits out, and then the ones that I've already done, I've got just to the side of me for you to see, but we'll pop this on. Look how, again, regal the font is. You know, you've got that delicate swirls that work all the way along the thinking, as well as the F, as well as the bottom of the U, works so well. But what I've done is, let's move them and them out the way. I'm going to bring in these ones that I've already done. I've taken a piece of that pink cardstock and just created my own little banners that you can see here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them here. So I'm going to do one into there, cut a strip with my guillotine, and then just using my scissors, I've just cut a V. And then we can pop that one there. This one I've made slightly smaller. And then I'm going to bring in my thinking of you. I've already run them through my adhesive. And then what I'm going to do is offset it, because you know I do like an offset. As it pulls in well on the image, and that's exactly what you want. That one into place. Using the wax seal, I've already created one later on in the Creative Craven. We showed you. I don't see one in Creative Craven. Glue gel. This can then go in. Leave it like the stamping card in the middle. But then that is how such an you can see. I've got more demonstrations when it comes to, but what we'll do is we'll go over that just in a moment or two. But what we're going to do is let's have a look. Finish off the show. Do is once we start going, wax seals, they look beautiful. Maria, such a beautiful collection you've got there. Ideas. Irene on Facebook. So that is if you wrap for your on. I know I love it is worth its weight in gold. Absolutely it is. Judy on YouTube. You laugh at me or with me. The main thing is that you are laughing. Preferably with me, but you know what? I can't help to begin with an M. Right, and we have got Victoria. Oh look, you got a little pussycat as well sitting in the selfie. There was me. Oh, it's me standing where I am right now. Thank you so much, Victoria, for sending in that selfie of yourself. And then we've also got Jane for sending that one in. I love how oh no, not that's kind of relevant, but just okie doke. Here we go. Believe how fast later on, which we'll tell you about. Got Craftfall, and she is. We've got Sarah. Sarah's going to be doing time 3 a.m. Pacific time, and then don't forget there's not a craft vault tonight. There's not one tonight. This is the only craft vault. Then what we've got is we've got launch day with Leanne and Joe. That is our Knit Wit collection. time. And then you've got me again. You've got me and Joe. That's Creative Cravens. We're going to do all things in Boston as well as the Rose Garden collection. 4 p.m. here in the UK. 5 a.m. Pacific time. A little bit of a treat. You've got 2 p.m. Eastern time. And Mr. Adam Friedman, I believe. I know you guys want to watch that, will be 7 p. Prep done, and I will see you back here later on, same time tomorrow for Wake Up Call with Craig, 9 a.m. here in the UK. But before that, I will see you later on for Creative Cravens. Have a lovely rest of the day, stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you then. Bye.